A little boy climbed an apple tree. He stole an apple, then two, then three. And when he started to climb back down, he slipped and he landed on the ground. Up jumped the devil, up jumped the devil. And every time he turned around, up jumped the devil in the white nightgown.
If we are issuing pardons, however, there is one person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. It would be incredibly controversial, but I think that it's absolutely necessary. That person is Derek Chauvin.
What's going on, America and the rest of the world? Xander J. Hobson here, comedian, director and producer of boxing documentaries, and troll to those who need trolling. This is another episode of Hell for Loving News, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. Folks, do me a solid because I'm trying to build a channel. Subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means, leave a comment in the comments section because I enjoy checking out the feedback from these videos that I make, as well as exchanging opinions and points of views with you all.
Unbelievable. If you needed more info as to the racist belief of one, Ben Shapiro, look no further. He's calling for the pardon of Derek Chauvin, the man who murdered and was convicted by a jury of his peers of that murder against Mr. George Floyd. Here it is.
I'm not going to stand here for one moment and give the impression that I care anything about George Floyd. Okay, I think that George Floyd was a poor excuse for a human being. And part of the reason why he died that day was a result of his own doing. All he had to do was cooperate with the police and go ahead down to the police station. They wasn't about to throw him under the jail for a phony $20 bill, if in fact that was even his $20 bill. He should have cooperated, and let this be a lesson to you folks, black people in particular. When you don't cooperate with the police, you can die. When it comes to George Floyd, his death, it was a tragedy. It was horrible what Derek Chauvin done to him. Now, you'll have some individuals say that George Floyd had a bad heart. George Floyd was on drugs. And you know what? Those things might be true. But Derek Chauvin kneeling on his neck, it didn't help the matter. There were a whole lot of different ways that Derek Chauvin could have used to restrain George Floyd. He didn't have to kneel on his neck. And for kneeling on his neck, he's in jail for a number of years.
President Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin. But when it came to BLM, the inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on their worst footing in my lifetime, was in fact the railroading of Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. The evidence demonstrates that Derek Chauvin did not in fact commit murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was high on fentanyl. He had a significant pre-existing heart condition. Talk about delivering pardons, President Trump, I think, should really seriously consider pardoning Derek Chauvin.
But as worthless as George Floyd was, George Floyd turned out to be quite lucrative. First of all, he was lucrative for his family. His family made a lot of money as a result of his death. And you know what? They should have. God bless them, and no disrespect to them by any way, shape, or form, or anything that I might say in this video. But the truth is a light. George Floyd also generated a lot of income for BLM. Oh, those people, they made a whole lot of money off of George Floyd's death. These individuals who started BLM, they didn't really care about a lot of the issues that they were raising a ruckus about. They were just causing a lot of chaos and cashing in on it. And where did the money go? Did the money really help the people that they say they were trying to help? No, they probably handed them a few coins and they kept the majority of the money. And it's the same thing with Ben Shapiro calling for a presidential pardon on behalf of Derek Chauvin. Ben Shapiro doesn't give a damn about Derek Chauvin. Ben Shapiro is making money now by way of clicks and views and going viral and broaching the topic of Derek Chauvin. Ben Shapiro doesn't care about Derek Chauvin. He only cares about the money that he could make by creating a controversy surrounding a presidential pardon of Derek Chauvin. Now, what I really don't like, I don't like the idea of Elon Musk sharing Ben Shapiro's post about Derek Chauvin. I'm not surprised at this. Elon Musk is a white South African. And personally, I expect the worst from white South Africans.
Thank you.
As I say, we will be covering this pretty extensively in the coming weeks. Right now, you should go to pardonderek.com and sign our petition asking President Trump to grant justice to Officer Derek Chauvin.
You know, Ben Shapiro, I mean, he really is a little spineless weasel. And he actually reminds me of the character in Higher Learning who manipulated Michael Rappaport to go out and do all that shooting. I mean, Ben Shapiro is the worst. And the thing that's really pathetic about him, he couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. I remember watching Ben Shapiro on the show and feeling sorry for him because he misgendered the trans woman.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Ben was sitting there scared to death, and I wouldn't be surprised if he pissed his pants. But the point that I'm trying to make is this. Often enough, people like Ben Shapiro are the ones who stir the pot and cause the racial tension. Again, right now, the United States is pretty much divided almost down the middle. You have a whole lot of people who are happy that President Trump won the election, but you have an equal amount who are very unhappy. And now you have this clown, Ben Shapiro, for the sake of money, clicks and views and clout chasing, calling for a presidential pardon. And you got this idiot, Elon Musk, sharing his post. So, you know, this is what I was thinking about. Often enough, you hear a lot of people get on here and talk about racism. And is this racist? I believe that it is a play on racism. Because if it was the other way around and someone done something to a Jewish person and anybody else got out there and said something that was supportive of the person who did something to a Jewish person, all hell would break loose. So this is definitely a play on racism.
Thank you.
But I honestly believe, more than it being racism, I believe that it is Ben Shapiro clout chasing and trying to make a buck off of stirring a controversy. So, you know, this is what I was thinking about. And now that I done thought about it and shared it with you, I'm done with it. Bam!